I don't think I've lived long enough to say that I reminisce about points in my childhood, as what I consider to be the days where I was a kid are still a large percentage of my life. Though I would be lying if I said I didn't have any fond memories of those times. Of them, I have several great experiences with gaming. Playing through Halo Combat Evolved or Halo 2 on my father's original Xbox at like 6 or 7, while I wasn't good at it, it still affected me enough to consider it one of the things that turned me into the person I am, writing this script today. It wasn't just the Halo series, of course. I also remember playing games like the original Battle for Bikini Bottom, or Wii Sports, or Project Gotham Racing 2, among many others. All of these are great games, don't get me wrong. I enjoy each of them and could likely come back and play them again and again, but none of them, except maybe for Halo, came close to the effect that Minecraft had on me. For a long time, I've thought about everything surrounding the game, though I've never made the attempt to write it all out. So I'm going to attempt to dissect Minecraft and why I think it had such a big impact, but also theorize if there will ever be a game to meet and surpass its effect on me in the world. So let's get to it and answer the question, why Minecraft? One of my earliest memories in relation to Minecraft, which I believe was also my first experience with the game, was of me visiting my cousin's house around a decade ago. We were just sitting about chatting, and I saw him boot up the game on his Xbox 360 as he launched one of his most recent worlds. And young me looked on because in the center of his little plains area was this large cube-like tower made of wooden planks. Comparing it to modern Minecraft creations, it wouldn't be much, but at the time I had no other scene to go off. I was curiously watching on, as this game didn't really look like any other one I'd played up until this point, but then he started expanding the tower further into the sky, and to my amazement, he did it by placing the blocks himself. It would be an understatement to say this blew my mind. He was quite literally playing with digital Lego, one of my favorite toys, and when I was offered a controller to try it myself, I'll admit I took it quite warily, not knowing how much power I truly held in such a world. While that's most of what I remember of that day, the time after that I can recall. I got the trial edition of Minecraft on my house's Xbox, back during its earliest days, just seeing the tutorial's pre-made pond and small broken house, residing in a calm valley surrounded by dirt and stone walls with a cobblestone path leading to an exit. I assume a lot of other players looked around a bit in this section, maybe chopped down a tree, and then left through the hole in the wall to explore the next area. But I didn't. I stayed in that tiny valley for a while, hours even, just molding the space around me, learning about crafting and whatnot, progressing in a calm fashion. Two things to pull away from my experience this far are, 1, this game allows people to play in their own way, at their own pace, something I'll get into a bit later, and 2, how goddamn good this tutorial is, honestly. It wasn't pushing me into the next area with anything aside from a notification that might pop up from time to see if I wanted to go through the exit, but the game was also happy for me to stay in this tiny playground of mine for as long as I wanted, and play without the overwhelmingness of an entire world. A feeling I wish was available for new Minecraft players, for now that the tutorials have moved on or been recreated and the PC's distinctive lack of one nowadays. I should also address that you might be looking around at the tutorial world I'm showing in the background of this video and be thinking it doesn't quite look right. And while people have uploaded copies of the world online, which I recommend you go try out, what you're seeing is what I rebuilt from my memory of the tutorial. Which is another thing Minecraft can do from an individual experience, in how each person might perceive the world about them. While I was thinking about the shape of the road from the beginning section to the exit, you might have been thinking about how actually the road was made not of cobblestone, rather of gravel. Somewhat on the same note, while other games might want you to feel the horror of an abandoned building, or the action from an FPS, Minecraft as a sandbox allows you to determine your own experience and emotions. In those moments, with my swell of joy of having repaired the little ruined hut and replanting some trees, I decided I was ready to head for the exit. Upon leaving, the sight of the giant castle to my right with a long bridge over to it got me to stand there for a bit, just watching it from over here. I was interrupted when a wolf wandered in front of me. My joy quickly went out of me as I tried to pet what I thought was a dog, but instead hit the wolf and witnessed it kill me with its red eyes and blackened fur. I stopped playing for a while after that experience, and it's weird today to think I felt so emotionally about a game that I wanted to avoid it like that. But in the end I did come back to it, except in co-op this time with my dad, to journey throughout the exit and see the world together. From the game's music to looking out the windows of all the houses I made, watching as night fell outside, sometimes matching the darkness of a night in the real world. It was calming. Writing this script, I'm actually getting a little teary thinking about my countless experiences with this game, and I won't bore you with them all, but I encourage you to sit down and just give a gentle think back to your own experiences with it, and feel the joy again of those times. Minecraft may have lost its height in entertainment for me a while ago, but I would never want to give back those moments I made with it at first, nor would I want others to miss out on the chance of having it for themselves. Looking in from another angle, maybe we can find more of why Minecraft had such a result on me by looking at its effect on a global scale. I'm understating it to say that Minecraft was, hell, even still is popular, but why? The game itself is quite open-minded in how you choose to play it. For example, there is an end goal of trying to defeat the dragon and or wither at some point, but other than wanting to, there isn't really any real driving force behind it. Sure, you might be able to get some experience points or be able to make some beacons, but compared to games where we're traveling across the stars to try and stop some alien group from annihilating all life in the galaxy, Minecraft's sandbox ideal lack of any real story lets the player set their own destination. This isn't always good, of course. I've seen some people drop the game because it's too open-minded, but my point is that at the time, it was somewhat of a unique experience to a lot of other games popping up, giving it more of an edge to come out into the spotlight. Expanding on what goals you've set, the game even lets you achieve them at your own desired difficulty, whether you want to survive, only have a single life, or simply float around to build whatever comes to mind. There's survival and hardcore and creative mode respectively. And no matter which type of playstyle you choose, one of the best things of Minecraft is that it lets you experience all of this with others. Co-op and multiplayer is possibly, in my opinion, the real reason Minecraft started to gain and continues to hold traction today. Giving a near limitless playground allows your mind to run free, but along with that, being able to show off your mind is even better, impressing your friends with a structure, or building a dream house to show off to a family member. Minecraft really is an experience which works well alone, but is meant to be made together. So where better to find that together than through online video? YouTube, among other streaming sites, gave a hub for people to share whatever really, and Minecraft's insane amount of whatever latched right on to that out of the gate. I remember watching through dozens of different channels after school, just seeing what they could put together with this incredible toy of a game. I fondly remember watching through the Yogscast's Jaffa Factory whenever a new episode was uploaded, seeing Lewis and Simon and Duncan continue to build their factory, and also using the world to interact with each other in their rival factory of Sipsco. Akin to being blown away from seeing my cousin launch up Minecraft all those years ago, this channel alone brought me and 11.5 million others with them on their adventure. And in reality, this is only the surface. I haven't even touched on the countless mini-games people have made, likely starting as a way to just have some laughs with friends, or even the game's own convention allowing people to meet over their worldwide shared passion, even if Minecon did get a bad rap at times. Minecraft gives everyone the tools to make something with it, and it has the encouragement to talk about the art you've created. Some might think it's sad to think that this game was what allowed some folks to feel joy or honor in creating something with their own hands. And I will gladly tell those people to screw off, because that is exactly why Minecraft is what we still talk about today. And besides, when would we even stop? In the modern gaming industry, many more AAA studios are creating games with better and better graphics, and most of the time, better is defined by how realistic looking the game is. The problem with realism, at least right now in the industry, is that what is seen as realistic or cutting edge from one year will inevitably look poor the next year, and most likely barely comparison in 5 years. The best example I can think of for this is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas compared to GTA 4 to GTA 5. Each of these games at their time may have been pushing the limits, but even today, GTA 5 looks poor in comparison to other studios' newer titles. With that idea in mind, if we look the other way, studios who strive away from realism can immortalize a game, as the graphics are harder to compare to modern titles. I won't lie to you and say Ocarina of Time looks better than Breath of the Wild, but when comparing other games that came out in 1998 and 2017 respectively, both Zelda titles can hold up pretty well, as their style is more so one of fantasy rather than capturing realism. So with that short ramble out of the way, the same idea can be applied to Minecraft. Its simplistic square-based graphics, I would argue, look as good today as they did during its 1.0 release. Although I'll admit gravel looked just a bit weird before that to me. In fact, the simplicity of the game at its most basic level will allow it to continue for a very long time. In a similar vein, while newer games are inventing new guns or items for you to use, Minecraft is occasionally giving new blocks which might have a new property of some kind, though ultimately lends itself to being used in a way you want. The core act, however, of breaking and creating is a feeling that I will argue people from almost any time will enjoy. And we still see this today. Going back to YouTube briefly, while Minecraft has definitely decreased in popularity over the years, seeing large series like PewDiePie's Minecraft playthrough in 2019 shows that even if you're late to the party, Minecraft doesn't mind. You did not have to be playing alongside the beta players, or when Redstone was created, or during the pre or post 1.9 update period. At its core, Minecraft changes very little, for better in that new players can have the same experience you had years later, and for worse that you may become burnt out when you run out of things you want to do with it. Though, Minecraft really shows that it can last a lifetime when we finally look at its modding scene. While not true in every case, older games are oftentimes still in the spotlight today, not usually due to seeing its base game, but instead looking at some modification someone made to give new life to the experience. Minecraft and its simple mechanics platform works just as well with this, as people can add in whatever they want to the sandbox. Do you think Minecraft feels a little too Stone Age to you? There are plenty of industrial mod packs that can add a modern sense to your world. Or maybe you seek magic, or secret temples, or wonders, or new planets, or anything. Either someone has made it, or you can try and make it yourself, as modding hinges off of what Minecraft has already been telling us, that we're only limited by our imagination. In all of this, Minecraft will never truly die out. Over time, the current generation may get bored of it, may slowly leave it, but it has the basis it needs to stand the test of time. As long as a copy can continue to exist, and a machine capable of running it, this game, I would theorize, could exist and be enjoyed for not just a lifetime, but many. I'm sad that I'm ending this video now, because I'm certain that upon uploading, no doubt people will bring up all sorts of other angles about why Minecraft is so good and fresh to the market, and whatnot, that I didn't even spend time to think about. But ultimately, I do have to wrap this up somewhere, so a quick conclusion, and then a look to the future. Minecraft shows its greatest points through allowing people to create an almost endless amount of ideas, while also giving people the options on how they want to go about achieving those ideals, whether in a more complex survival or a more relaxing creative mode. Its more relaxed look at how graphics and mechanics should be easy to learn, yet complex should you wish to go further with them, again helps mold tools for the players to create and achieve whatever goals they might want. Though most importantly, likely both intentional by the creators and also simply a consequence of many decisions, Minecraft's focus on the community helps it shine, from showing off a friend the building you made to trying to recreate Earth and its cities with dozens of people, and any possibility in between. In conclusion, Minecraft in a way can be anything to anyone, though these points are what allow the thought of infinite to stop being mind-boggling and instead turn it into a wonder and create a place where one can play, or talk, or cry, or build, amongst other things, with anyone. That vague conclusion may hit the points I wanted, but it also brings up the other sad and daunting question. When is, or what will be, the next Minecraft? In this, I don't necessarily mean a sequel from Mojang, or another survival game, or the next Most Soul game. Instead, will there be a game that can capture Minecraft's spirit? Tackling a question like this makes me somewhat sad and nervous, as Minecraft holds many emotional experiences in gaming for me, and I'm worried that I may never have the chance to reach those heights of games again. Though it may just be me, I feel like the game development industry has moved away from all these games I've had so much fun with. I'm not denying there aren't still good games coming out, but I feel like a mixture of a less saturated market as well as having dozens of games from previous years all be gems because people had enough time to pick the good ones out, as opposed to now when we're still waiting each year for the games to be released so we can find out the great games among them. So it could be a new Minecraft has already been created, but it simply hasn't really reached the spotlight. Along with such, the industry has been moving away a little bit from survival games. I think both it and I have realized that the next big one will likely have to be something new. While I don't think Battle Royales were or will be it, a lot of companies seem to think that's the way to go for the time being. Though I'd be a fool if I simply swept away any game's potential just because so far games in this genre have failed to draw me in. So I will keep a lookout. But in the end, I feel like it's probably true. If a game will reach Minecraft's heights, it's either that we can't possibly know enough about its development or genre to imagine it yet, or that such a game is impossible to make. That maybe the community has moved on, that maybe me growing up has led to the fact that nothing will seem as good as what I remember from my golden days of sitting down and playing amazing games. It all seems to point to the fact that the legacy that Minecraft has created is a mantle too hard to carry on, and that no other game will use its wonders to find a place in my brain, like Minecraft did all those years ago. It was maybe a few weeks ago, I was having a chat over Discord with that same cousin I talked about at the start of this video. At some point, the conversation strayed to Minecraft. And it wasn't about reminiscing about the great times I had in Minecraft, rather stating the annoyances and sadness from the fact that I wasn't still having those memories I cherished being built. I wish I could play Minecraft one more time from the beginning, experiencing again that feeling of wonder. Yet, he took a different stance on the subject. While I was wallowing about the lacking present, his views focused more so on the past. He was not only right, especially now. It's not easy for games to make a great first impression when it feels like so many other games have already given such amazing starts. But most importantly, he really put the nail in the coffin for me about Minecraft in particular. The point of view shouldn't be to think about how so many games have failed to achieve not only my memories of Minecraft, but all these other games that make up myself. I shouldn't look at it that all these other games struggle to make an impression on me. Rather, it's that Minecraft is special in the fact that it could achieve that. It's sad to think that, like I guessed, Minecraft may only be a relic that no one will ever truly surpass in my mind. But that conversation really changed my idea that I shouldn't value old games by how they compare to the new, rather value them on how they affected me on their own. So Minecraft may just be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I think this video is part of me coming to terms with that, along with many other games. I've learned quite a bit examining Minecraft that I will take into account for future games, although in the end, I think why was it Minecraft wasn't a bad question, but the answer I was looking for was the wrong one. It shouldn't be how to replicate the experience Minecraft gave me. The real answer to the question, why was it Minecraft that affected me, is because it was Minecraft. While I have no idea how long the video's editing will take, writing the script probably took a week of work for the first draft, and I'll probably cut it down quite a bit more before I reach the final edits. But thank you for sticking through it up until now. If you enjoyed this sort of video, I've gotta be honest, it's not my usual sort of content, practically just a video essay hinging to the channel based on the fact that it's about video games. This video is really focused on a single game, while my usual content is, however, about both my journey creating my own games, as well as examining the structure of what makes all sorts of games work. So I'd recommend you'd watch one of those, and then, based on how you enjoy the usual content, consider subscribing to the channel. Though liking this video will likely push me to get around to finishing other video essays I've been thinking up for quite a while, which are also different to the channel's main theme. Enough self-promotion though. I've started to end off these videos with people that affected the creation of them, or otherwise affected me recently with their content. Starting with someone who, while I wouldn't recommend on a good day, I think his existentialism and ending pep talks can be useful on worse days. I'm of course talking about Xsylum, who I listened to a lot while starting to write the script, and likely affected its general tone, especially near the end. There's also the cousin who inspired the events that led up to the script, so go check out his content. While it's not really connected to this video's theme, I really enjoyed watching through Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'll try and connect one of the videos on its writing I've watched recently if you want to delve further into that. And finally, one of my normal analysis videos I upload to the channel if you would like to check it out.